The 1962 French film La Jetee has long been a subject of film studies courses due to its experimental yet effective use of still imagery to describe a narrative. The film's themes of dystopia and time travel have also remained a long-studied topic, even providing direct inspiration for films such as 12 Monkeys and more recently X-Men: Days of Future Past. But aside from the unorthodox filmmaking techniques, what can we learn from the film? Why is La Jetee so relevant in 2019? First, let's look at the film's narrative. The film takes place in the dystopian time, immediately following a global war. The remaining population has retreated underground and developed cognitive time travel technology in the hopes of restoring civilization. Through trials of mental testing, they successfully send a man's consciousness to the past and future to search for an answer. Although the mission is to discover a power source, the man becomes distracted by his own memories of a woman who interacts with him through these visions. The film essentially has two themes, those of science fiction and melodrama. Let's start with sci-fi. Film theorist Stuart Wojtyła discusses the structure of science fiction in this quote: "Science fiction and fantasy are our new mythology and provide an important canvas that allows us to explore society's issues. The journeys may propose the dangers we could face if an evil continues. For example, nuclear power, genetic engineering, or technology. These journeys may represent our society's phobias in a given era, but they may also present our hopes of a utopian world in which we have overcome a contemporary issue or simply celebrate our humanity." La Jetee shows us a world in which humans have destroyed the Earth and imagines a fantastical solution in which we attempt to make it habitable once again. Which leads us back to the initial question: why is this film relevant in 2019? The film is more prevalent today than ever before, as we face similar issues of global devastation in the form of global warming. And while we have not yet found a solution to stop these global changes, La Jetee imagines a way in which we can at least look for an answer. Now let's take a look at how the melodramatic themes relate. When we watch sci-fi films, they often involve unfamiliar creatures, items, or even societies that don't exist in our own world. And when audiences see something they don't recognize, they can often have trouble understanding or even relating to that film. Take for instance watching a foreign film without subtitles. It can be very confusing and hard to follow the plot. This is where melodrama becomes so important, especially when utilized in sci-fi films. Signs of affection or love are widely recognizable and can often humanize the unfamiliar. When watching films like E.T. or Chappie, we expect aliens or robots to behave differently than humans, operating with behaviors foreign to us. But seeing these creatures develop emotions and relationships, we start to relate with something we assumed was unrelatable. In La Jetee, we see the dystopian world as eerie and depressing, much different than our own. The underground scientists force a man to search for a solution to their devastated world. But while doing so, the man falls in love, growing and experiencing a close connection with a woman who is far away. It is in these moments that might seem mysterious, frightening, or even depressing that we can relate, that we as humans can find a tiny glimpse of hope in a world full of darkness.